Welcome back, everybody, to week 3. I cannot believe we're on week 3 already of the 30-day bootcamp. We're going to jump in this week with sales. I'm really excited to talk about sales. It's one of my favorite subjects, and it's honestly one of the most important things to the success of any business. If you don't have sales, you don't have a business, and that's kind of an important thing to remember here. So I'm going to jump in today. Really, we're going to cover some of the big blocks, some of the reasons people don't have sales success, some of the things that maybe they're missing along the way. I want to kind of uncover some things with you guys and let you know exactly what you can start doing in your business to start generating more sales. And we'll be talking about that throughout this week. Okay, so it'll be more than just today, but today's going to be a really good start off. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right into our slides today. All right. So I want to start by connecting you guys here. Let's connect sales to the success of your business. Now, this is just the plain hard truth. No business can survive without sales. Okay, it's almost amazing sometimes when you think about, like, you guys have probably heard it. I hear it all the time. So many people are afraid to sell their work. They're afraid to step out there and charge for what they create. And to me, that's absolutely crazy, because there's no way you stay in business if you don't charge for your product. And it's like any business that stays in business charges for their product. So that's really the most important part to remember. No matter how you feel about sales, whether you love it or hate it, okay, you have to sell your product. Now, a question again, I want you guys to ask yourselves, and this is something that I've had to ask myself, especially when I started into sales. What negative beliefs are surrounding your sales mindset? For instance, do you think things like nobody will buy from me, or I can't charge this much, or my market's too small? Really get honest with yourself and ask yourself, what are the negative beliefs that are surrounding your sales mindset? Because what we're going to need to do is uncover those beliefs and then eliminate them, okay? So I want to present you guys with a way to view sales. I want you to think of sales as something that you do for your client and not to your client. Okay, a lot of people have had negative results with sales, and I have too. And I always talk about, like, used car dealerships. And if you deal in used cars, I don't mean any offense. It's the one analogy a lot of people relate to. If you've ever been, shopping for a car, and you feel like immediately as soon as your feet hit the lot, somebody's beelining over to you, and you can tell it's all transactional. It's only about getting a sale and making money. It's not about serving you, right? If you can feel that, and you sort of build that perception of sales in your mind, and then you take on those characteristics and you think that's how selling is, like, you're going to have a hard time selling to your clients. So what I want you to understand and think about is that sales is literally just something you're doing for your client, not to your client, okay? And it's really important that you guys really nail this part and really start to embed this, because if you want to make more money in your business, you've got to understand that this is the starting point, okay? It just is. And to tie that together, your belief around sales is going to line up with your results. So what I mean is really simple. If you continue to tell yourself, I can't do it, nobody's going to buy, my market's too small, like, nobody wants to pay this price, whatever it is, whatever belief you surround around sales, that's what's the result that's going to basically manifest back, okay? So I want you guys to think about something a little bit differently here. I want you to think about, if you haven't had the sales success that you want in your business yet, does that mean that it's not possible? Or does it mean that you just haven't hit the outcome you want yet? Which one of those things is true? And I want to really speak to you guys about what we feed ourselves, right? If you believe it's not true, that's just a belief, because the truth is somebody else is doing it and somebody else is already succeeding with what you want to do. So the fact that it can't be done can already be eliminated. Now it's just a matter of, how do I get to that point? That's really what this is all about. And that's why I started this entire bootcamp off with mindset and beliefs, because it all goes back to those things, okay? Let's keep moving. So I want to break this down a little bit for you guys. Let's talk about fear of sales first, okay? So fear of sales is generally a direct result of one's perception of sales. So we were just talking about the car dealership analogy, right? If that's the last experience that you have and it rubbed you the wrong way, and your perception of sales is that it's just a transactional thing. Nobody really cares about you. It's just about money. Like, that is a perception that you've developed about a sales process. Okay? So most people are sort of afraid of sales because they've had negative experiences with sales. What I want to tell you guys is most people sell the wrong way. Most people sell and just think about the money. And the money's important, but they're not thinking about the person. And I want you guys to understand that if you can shift that and you can start to get into alignment of serving the client, the money follows. Okay? Now, perception of sales is generally based on previous experience. So we kind of just hit this one on the head. Some people have had great experience with sales, and sales is really easy to them because that's what they relate to a sales experience. But most people have some sort of fear or hang up around sales, and it's really all predicated on their past experiences and sales situations as well. So just understand that if you can shift that thought and ask yourself, what if I could create a better sales experience for my clients? This is what Jess and I did. This has been one of the big things that's really helped our business just grow in like exponential fashion, is serving our clients first and foremost. I mean, look, you've got to make money to stay in business. Okay? That's a no-brainer. But a lot of people are afraid to ask for that money. And I think a lot of people are afraid to ask for money because they come into it with a transactional mindset only. So if you come into it with a service mindset first, and you really knock it out of the park, which I know can be done, you guys can do this, you're going to actually serve your clients in a way they've never been served, and you're going to make more money in the process. It's really, really cool. Now, I want to break down what sales mean to your business. Let's say you get your business dialed in, right? You're starting to make good sales, and good's going to be, that's going to vary person to person. But I'm talking like, say you make $2,000, $3,000 sales, whatever. What does it mean for your business when you can consistently make these kinds of marks? And for me, I knew it meant financial freedom. It meant I could pretty much afford to do what I wanted to do. I didn't have to ask people to borrow money or whatever. Like, financial freedom is a really great thing. So when your business gets to that point where you're starting to make more and more revenue, you can afford, to do what you want. Financial freedom is great. You can also maintain a better work-life balance. And what I mean by that is, as you're able to charge more for your work per client, you can take fewer clients and actually make more money. That's the beauty in actually selling your work and doing it the right way. Most people start and they sell for like a couple $100 a session, and then they don't have a back-end process, and they're doing all of this work for a couple $100, and when you break it down, it's not worth it. So what I mean is that when you could elevate your brand to the next level, and you can actually start to charge more for your work, then you can work with fewer clients and make more money. And it's really amazing. You can go into business full time. So maybe you're in a 9-to-5 that you hate. That's a common thing I talk to people about all the time. They want to leave their day job. They don't know what the next step is. They're afraid to take the leap. You're just going to get out there and do it. But if you're making, the proper revenue in your business, then it's much easier to make that leap. Okay. So that's a big thing. But one of the biggest things is you can support yourself, you can support your family, you can support again, the financial freedom ties into this. So like, you can basically do what you want, but you don't have to worry about living paycheck to paycheck, so to speak, right? You can actually afford to do what you want to do and provide for your family. And in many cases, you can bring I brought Jess on to work with me full time at the end of 2014. That was a big shift for us. One where she left a full-time steady job, but we were able to do it because we believed that we could do it, and we took the right measures to actually get to that point. So that's what's available for you guys too. Now, I want to tell you guys why most people don't take action. And if any of these apply to you, that's cool. Like, I don't want you to have any sort of shame around any of this. I want to paint a picture for you guys. And I want you to understand that a lot of these things, maybe you find yourself in one or several of these categories, and we're going to work on shifting all of that. Okay, so let's just start by figuring out and discussing why people don't take action. Now, most people don't take action because they're afraid of the unknown. Okay, raising your prices or putting yourself out there in a way you've never put yourself out there before is scary, right? I mean, let's just face it. Like, nobody likes the unknown variable of like, well, what if it fails and all that, right? So that's actually the next one is fear of failure. I think that's probably the biggest thing, even more so than the fear of the unknown, is fear of failure. Most people are like, I can't even tell you how many business owners or potential business owners don't even take action because they're afraid of failing. I want to tell you guys, failure is a massive part of success. You know, you can ask any successful entrepreneur that's been at this for any length of time. They have failed far more times than they have actually succeeded. But the successes, when they come, they're big and they hit and they land. And that's what you're working towards. So fear of failure is a big stopping point for a lot of people. I want to encourage you guys to not dwell on failing and use failure as an opportunity to get better, okay? Fear of public perception. What will my family think? What will my parents think? What are my old clients going to think about my new prices? All of these things are things that I've dealt with, all of them, okay? And here's the thing, especially as a boudoir photographer and a male in that space, there are men that do that successfully. I'm one of them. There are many others. But one of the big things you have to get over as a male in that space is, what are people going to think of me? What's my family going to think? I'm very fortunate that I have a supportive family and they've never looked at me as doing anything but creating art, and that's all it is. But that's a similar thing for a lot of people, where they're just afraid of what people are going to think about them. And guys, if you worry about what people think about you, your business will never proceed or progress forward. I promise you, you've got to get to the point where you can kick that crap out of your head, because what somebody else thinks about you doesn't matter. You got to know internally what it is that you're after, what it is that you're about, and that's all you pursue and focus on. Lack of belief in your own success is the next one. Now, I've dealt with this. I think everybody's dealt with this. Like, how do I make it? I don't know how to make it. I don't know what to do next. And here's the thing, right? Like, the path to success looks a little bit different for everybody, but I can promise you nobody has every single piece of it figured out when they start. The biggest difference between the people that succeed and the people that fail is that the people that succeed just start. And as you start and you commit to the goal and you just work towards that goal daily, just like you're obsessive about it, right? That is your dream, right? Things will start to happen for you in a big way. So you've got to kick out the lack of belief in success, but that stops so many people, guys. It's sad to see so many great, talented people actually don't get where they want to go because they're afraid, and don't believe that they can succeed. It's sad. And then lack of proper skill set. So here's one, right? Like, you could take great photos. Let's say you take amazing photos, but you don't know how to sell your photos, or you don't know how to properly position your brand or your business in front of the right people and how to market it to them. That would be the lack of a proper skill set. That's probably one of the biggest things that would need addressing for people. Like, you can get over the fear, you can get over all of that stuff with practice and time, but if you don't have the right skill set, it doesn't matter. Like, you've got to know how to position your work in front of people and then how to price it accordingly and all of that. All right. So a lot of people are just, they'll never take that step. They just want to do it the hard way. They want to do it their own way. They'll spend 5 to 10 years doing what they could have done in a year. I should know I was one of those people at the beginning of my career. Had I listened to the right advice sooner in my career, I would have been a lot further along. So I always tell everybody that I'm very transparent, that you can get a lot further by taking the right advice. Okay. Now, I want to flip it. We talked about the things, basically the reasons that people don't take action. I want to show you guys how to fix these things. I want to show you how to win, okay? First and foremost, you've got to face fear head on and realize that it's not real. In most cases, fear is not real. Fear is made up. It's just an internal thing. It's like an alarm system that is telling you, hey, something scary is about to happen, or something different is about to happen. That's typically what fear is. And if you really look at the bulk of the decisions you make that are based around fear, the thing that's feared usually never happens, right? And I think that's true for most people. So fear is more of like an alarm than an actual reality. And when you can realize that, you can start to move into inspired action and take the right action in your business. The next is to recognize, again, like I said earlier, there are no failures, okay? You only learn from those failures. Like, they're learning experiences, because nobody gets in the business and does it right the first time. And a lot of the time, people make mistake after mistake after mistake. I mean, hell, I've made thousands of mistakes in my career, and I still ended up in a position that I'm so honored and blessed to be in. And I know that you guys can have that too. But you have to be willing to use those fears as and failures as opportunities, both to learn and grow. Huge point here. Do not trust anyone's opinion who is not where you want to be at right now. So if you've got a friend who's saying, yeah, you could never be in business, or you can't do it because of whatever reason, or coronavirus is out, you can't start a business. Like, if they're not where you want to be, you got to tune them out, whether it's a mom, dad, spouse, significant other, whatever it is, right? And I'm not saying like you be rude to them, but you've got to have a stronger internal belief about what you're capable of than what their opinion says you're capable of. And if you can do that, you can win big time. And that's the biggest thing. You can't listen to outsiders who don't even have the experience, and they're not even at the level that you want to be at yourself. It's mind blowing to me how many people let outside opinion influence their decisions. Next up, start believing in yourself and start believing in what's possible, right? Because here's the thing. I truly believe as people, we are amazing human beings where we have amazing capabilities. We can do whatever we want to do. It's our belief about it that holds us back, right? So if you believe in the opposite direction, if you believe, hey, the sky's the limit, I could make $100K a year. I could be a $500,000 a year photographer, whatever you want. You can do this. You can make it happen, but you've got to start believing in yourself and start living in the possibility of what's out there and available for you, okay? And again, you can develop the proper skill set today so that you can start capitalizing. So I don't know how many of you guys know, but there's something called opportunity cost. And I talk about this with people all the time. But basically, the easiest way to break it down is every day that you're not making money or generating revenue in your business, you are leaving money on the table. And that's a lost opportunity, and that's costing you revenue. So the best thing you can do is start developing the right skills today so that you can start capitalizing and collecting on that market share. Guys, there are plenty of people out there that are willing to pay thousands of dollars for photos if you do it the right way, if you actually create an amazing result and experience. And all you have to do is believe in yourself and start taking action and putting the right pieces in place, okay? So here's the deal. The best and fastest way to win is to get into action now. Get in today. Don't wait another day, because every day you wait and delay, there's an opportunity that you're missing to be collecting revenue, to provide for your family, to quit your full-time job, to fund your retirement. It's all out there, right? But you've got to take action now, okay? And like I always tell you guys, if you're not in a place where you want to be, if your business needs help, if you need to put the systems together that you can start selling your work for more money, we've got you guys back, okay? You can book a call with us today at 7stepssixfigures.com/apply. We'll go through, try to craft a game plan with you, help you put a strategy together that gets you to the next level sooner than you expected, okay? My objective on these calls is to help show you in 30 to 45 minutes how to shave 5 years off of the learning curve in your business. And if that's what you want for yourself, if you're tired of feeling stuck or not being to the point in your business that you want to be, then hop on the phone with us and make the call. It's a free call, okay? So with that said, guys, we're going to be covering a lot of sales this week, a lot of different techniques, strategy stuff, just like marketing last week. I'm really excited about it, and I know you guys that are here want to get to the next level, and we want to support you guys 100%, okay? So book the call. Let's stop making excuses. Let's stop living in fear and disbelief. If you want your results, you've got to take action today, okay? So jump out there and get it. I will catch you guys on the next lesson. Take care.